It's time to roll the credits with Chris and Wayne. Welcome once again to Roll the Credits with Chris and Wayne. I'm Wayne Pyle.
And I'm Chris Ty.
And as you know, we are the official video podcast for the Hunter Mountain Film Festival this year. We will be running from October 23rd through the 25th, and like almost everyone else, we're completely online. Make sure you check out all the other great content we have to offer at huntermountainfilmfestival.com. Hey, Chris, have you ever met anyone who was actually a special agent, like for the FBI or CIA?
Well, Wayne, actually, I do have some information I could share, but then I'd have to shoot you. Sorry, classified. I do have one friend who actually he's an FBI agent, and he actually worked on a case that was featured on a national crime program, and he was one of the narrators and interviewees, and it was really surreal to actually see him on the program. So,
I bet.
Yeah, I've had a few FBI agent friends. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. Well, my story is that when I was in grad school, a classmate who is not our guest tonight, but this classmate introduced us to his aunt, who was this tiny older woman who looked just like anyone else. She wore glasses, had frizzy black hair. She was really sweet. And I had a nice long conversation with her. And after she left, he told us that she was actually a special agent for the FBI or the CIA. I don't remember which, for most of her life. And we were all shocked. And I think some of us were just a bit worried that we might have said something incriminating.
You never know. Never know. Well, Wayne, speaking of special agents, our special guest tonight has played Special Agent in Charge Jerry Donovan of 25 episodes of the hit TV series Power, which you can binge watch on Hulu.
That's right, Chris. Thank you for just throwing me out that awesome transition, as you usually do. Chris, something you might not know is that he and I also went to grad school together at the University of Delaware's Professional Theater Training Program many years ago. So I am super stoked about having our special guest, Ty Jones, on the show tonight. In addition to being a series regular on Power, Ty has appeared on FBI, When They See Us, Roy Wood Jr., Snitch Cop, #WarGames, Nella the Princess Knight, Madam Secretary, and many, many others.
He's also done a lot of film work, including roles in Annie, Tower Heist, Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, Fugly, and Clifford the Big Red Dog, along with our Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Karen Lynn Gorney.
Ty Jones is not only a great friend of mine, he's an amazingly talented actor. He's very funny, a proud dad of some super talented kids. He does an awesome backflip. He's also the producing artistic director of one of my favorite theaters in New York City, the Classical Theatre of Harlem. Great work being done there. How does he find the time to do all of these amazing things? Well, we're going to find out right now. Ty Jones, welcome to Roll the Credits with Chris and Wayne.
Wow. I'm humbled. Thank you, Wayne.
Thanks for coming on, Ty. It's great to see you, man.
Sure.
Well, Ty, like Wayne said, how do you find the time to run a theater company, audition for film and TV, and appear as a recurring actor on a TV series, and to have a personal life to boot?
Well, I will say one thing is that I imagine many people have heard when people talk about work-life balance, and I'm just somebody who doesn't necessarily ascribe to that. I actually think it's about work-life integration. Like everything I do is part of my life, and I'm happy about that. I love my work. I love my kids. I love going to auditions, and the answer or the formula that someone would, to try to give someone about how to be in this business, I'll never say that I've got that formula. All I can say is that if you're entrepreneurial and, a self-starter and have been able to sort of define yourself in this world of making art for yourself, then you'll be okay. You'll persevere. But I think that's what it is. It honestly is, it reminds me of when we had our first kid. So I have 3 kids too, like you guys mentioned, and 9, 11, and 13. And my wife had this plan. She had this plan, this birthing plan, long birthing plan. We gave it to the hospital. Nothing went according to the birthing plan. Absolutely nothing. But the baby still had to be fed. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I look at, my life in the arts, is that there are going to be a ton of things that never go the way you expect them to go, but the baby's got to get fed. You got to do the work. You just got to do it. You got to commit to it. And it isn't for somebody for the faint of heart, this business. And it's not, you got to have a thick skin. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't, there's nothing magical I can say about it other than, you know, it's a choice that I've made and I love it. And I'll persevere and keep doing it till the day that I die.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for saying that. So tell us what it was like being a recurring character on a series. What are some of the challenges? What are some of the joys of playing someone who has like a whole nice long story arc in a show?
Well, it's fine. Look, the truth is that, you know, I with the exception of season 4, you know, I was sort of on the periphery of the storytelling. I was happy I was there. Don't get me wrong. And it was a great experience. But you know, I didn't have to carry the show. You know what I mean? I wasn't what they call, so the top 4 characters, 1 through 4, you know, I wasn't one of them. So, you know, I was somebody who I learned my lines, did everything I could to just be of service to the show. There's nothing terribly, you know, deep about that whatsoever. And what you hope is that with these things is that you can leverage it into something else, right? So I'm hoping that, you know, the writers with whom I worked over those seasons, as they go and get other projects at other networks or other things that they've pitched, I hope they remember me. And so it's about relationship building. And I think that's what I was able to walk away with more than anything else, is trying to build the relationships with the writers so that you hope that they'll think of you and just kind of watch how it worked. You know, what, you know, when you think of Steiner Studios, which is a massive place.
Oh yeah,
right?
it's amazing.
How does that work? And so, you know, I'll, you know, during between takes, go talk to the person, the facilities manager. Yeah, what's it like working here? Stuff like that. So I just use it as a chance to be a sponge and learn everything I possibly could, you know. And you know, look, the way things have changed in the world, like I haven't actually worked as an actor since March, since all this COVID shit, right? And so that's actually thrown me back into writing. So Wayne knows that, you know, back in the day, I used to write, and I think I did all right. He was a star in one of my plays, by the way, Wayne Pyle. And it was excellent. He was extraordinary in it.
Thanks, man.
Now, I actually,
great play. I still remember, like, I still have vivid memories of moments and being in that space and saying your words, man. I still do, I swear.
Well, thank you. And just to let y'all know, the play was called Emancipation, Chronicles of the Nat Turner Rebellion. And Wayne played several parts in there. And if I ever do it again, he's going to play the lead in it. So we had a great time working together. But what ended up happening is that when I hadn't taken over the Classical Theatre of Harlem at that point, once I took over Classical Theatre of Harlem, the writing went to the side. And so I just, you know, preserved the company, figured out a way to save the company. But yeah, so to answer your question about being on the show, it just gave me an opportunity to watch and learn how a show is run. And because what's going on right now, if you're somebody who is a writer, who can produce content, or you have contacts with people at Netflix or Starz or somebody like that, who you can approach and say, hey, I've got this idea. And everyone's looking for content right now. So I'm hoping I'm able to leverage those relationships by being on that show. That's what it's about for me.
Great. Got it.
Well, we mentioned that you worked on Clifford the Big Brave Dog.
Yeah, that was fun.
When we talked to our Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Karen Lynn Gorney, and she was also in the film, and she mentioned that she never really saw a big red dog, but she really was out there somewhere. What was your experience like working on the show? On the film?
That was great. Look, that one was just kind of fun because, you know, John Cleese was there. You know, lots of folks that was just fun to hang out with. It was so easygoing. It was kind of tough. We were out on, I guess, what is it, Roosevelt Island? I think that's where we were shooting. And it was a fantastic location because they got that huge park over there. But that's also where they traffic the helicopters back and forth where they're shipping people. So every few minutes we had to stop because a helicopter would go over. And so I knew the producers were sitting off. You could just tell they were seething. You know, because every time the helicopters. But I thought everybody was, you know, good spirits. And, you know, it was a fun show. The kids are, you know, obviously they had some really, really sharp and talented kids. And they weren't your typical sort of, showbiz kids. They had a maturity to them, so they knew that they had a job to do, it's nice to work around kids and parents who understand that. So I hope it's a blockbuster hit, because if I guess we're all roughly the same age. Remember Clifford the Big Red? It was like Clifford the Big Red Dog. Clifford goes to school. Clifford drinks water. So I hope they do every single one of those movies to bring me back for every single one.
There you go. There you go. That would be amazing.
We can guarantee 2 families that'll be seeing it, Wayne's and mine. So
yeah, exactly. Yes, definitely. Definitely. I actually, honestly, I am looking forward to it. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Clifford the Big Red Dog. And I definitely want to see.
I read it all the time as a kid and watched the cartoons. They so they had this they had 2 guys have a contraption on them where, because the dog is going to be like a 25-foot dog,
right?
And the CGI is going to make the dog really look real. So it's going to be fun,
That's cool. Now, did you have any interactions directly with Clifford? So did you have to deal with those guys?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Now, you had mentioned the pandemic, and it's been just craziness, heartbreaking, worrisome. And yet a lot of guests have been saying how it's been, kind of giving them a chance to sort of pause and think about what they really want to create next, or to take some time to advocate for the causes that are out there that people are working on, or even learn something new. And the thing that I've been learning is Adobe Creative Suite. So I was watching the Adobe Max Creativity Conference today, and Mums to Scheme.
That's because you're Wayne Pyle.
Yeah, well, I'm always trying to learn. I mean, I think it's important to keep learning, like you said. And we're sort of like not in the everyday auditioning acting mode. So I was like, what am I going to learn? So I tuned into this conference, and Mums to Schemer, the actor poet Craig Grant, came on and he performed this piece. And he said, in the journal of the exhausted soul is the world, and it's all personal. Art is what it is, even in the smoke patterns of destruction. Even the artist in crisis is art. So I'm really curious to see what kind of art happens out of this, films, music, plays, because I think as artists, we're influenced and inspired by what's happening around us, the times, the things that are happening. So I'm curious, Ty, like as producing artistic director of the Classical Theatre of Harlem, how has this pandemic affected your work, and what kind of ideas or plans do you have to move forward during these crazy times?
Well, here, I'll answer one of your questions if you give me 30 seconds, all right? I'll show you.
Sure thing. Yeah, please.
So this is one of the things that I've been working on. I'm going to keep it positive because I have a lot of opinions about this damn COVID.
Sure thing,
stuff,
sure thing.
Right? But I'll keep everything positive. I promise. All right, let me see. Come on, Ty. Oh, there we go. All right, guys. So this is what I've been working on.
Okay, great.
I'm going to share the screen. I think it's.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me
disable. Okay.
Yeah, let me allow you to share.
This is what we're working on.
Great.
Two households, both lying in dignity. From ancient grudge, break to new mutiny. Peace! You know not what you do! Talk of peace, I hate the word. All men, depart! A pair of star-crossed lovers.
What lady is that? What is yon gentleman?
His name is Romeo, and a Montague, son of your great enemy.
Is she a Capulet? Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? I know not how to tell thee who I am. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized.
Yes.
Tybalt, you rat catcher!
The prince expressly has forbidden fighting in Verona streets.
I am fortune's fool.
Ty, that's amazing.
So that's what we're working on, brother.
That is really, really cool. That is really awesome.
I don't know if you remember, dude, like back in the day, I want to say it was about 12 years ago, you and I were even talking about trying to do some, animation stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you were trying to learn it on your own. Remember?
I was. I still am. That's why I got the Adobe stuff.
Yeah. And so, there are things that have still been sitting in the back of my mind. And then this got reignited because of a young actor that I talked to. And I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can go for it. So the overall idea is that we're going to create animated classics. We're going to do a series of them. Great. And so we're right now lining up, we've got one meeting so far. We're looking at the Apple TVs, the Netflix, and the Amazons of the world, and hopefully they will accept our pitch and let us create these.
That's so great.
I think the statistics are what, like 93% of kids are online.
Mm-hmm.
And with this whole pandemic shit, excuse my language, stuff going on, they're going to be in front of a computer. So we're going to need to create something compelling, or at least how should I put it, that's comparable to some of the things that compels them already. And we all know that animation is something that is quite compelling to kids. We're looking at that age range of 8 to 11. So why not introduce classics to them this way? So
I love it. I love it.
Basically it.
Thank you for sharing that with us, man. That's so cool.
Yeah,
that was the way I'm gonna keep it positive. So
yeah, I get you. I get you.
I
And
won't
thanks.
talk about the other stuff.
Well,
you'll create a whole series.
Say it again.
You'll create a whole series.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
It's gonna be it's a big project for us. So like we're actually going to be getting a project manager and all that stuff. But we have all the people in house to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so now the truth is it's not cheap. So we
right.
are.
Oh, no, yeah. Right.
Without question, it's not cheap. But so we're bringing people in, money, all that other stuff. But we're not there yet. By any stretch of the imagination. But we're the people who have seen our work already have been like, great idea, keep going, and so
Definitely.
How it is, Wayne. It's about the relationships, right?
Right, exactly.
You hope that someone says, I got kids, I think this is great. They're watching all kinds of stuff on TV, and some stuff I don't know what they're watching. I'd much rather them be watching this, and perhaps some have a curriculum that's attached to them, and all that other stuff.
That's really great.
More, but I think you get it, Wayne. You know what it is to produce these things. So
yeah, definitely. And I love. Thank you so much for showing that, because it really shows like how you took what's happening and sort of, like you said, looked for the positive way to create something out of it. And just, great stuff. Thank you.
Yeah. And Wayne, we can't share it, but Wayne has been playing with animation for our program, just experimenting. So he's been in it.
I know. I mean,
he blew me away with it.
We've been talking about it for a long time. Yeah. So it's one of those things. And I think the technology and the ability to produce it quicker with a smaller team now has just hit its peak. Like that's what was amazing about watching that conference is they just came out with actually a new update today of the animation software where the AI is even better at capturing the lip syncing.
Wow.
Yeah. So it just came out today. I was like, I ran to the computer and did my updates, just to see what would happen. So thanks. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, man. So that's what's going on.
Awesome.
In COVID world.
So shifting gears a little bit.
Sure.
Do you have any funny or interesting stories? We love talking to our guests about that, things from set or whatever that you can share with our viewers.
We have some we can't share with the viewers.
Do I have anything funny from on set or
like something that happened, or even something
well, I can tell you,
but
the only things that I can get, like the things that have an impact on me to this day, basically takes me back to grad school with Wayne. We had this guy in our class, his name was Roland Sanchez.
Roland's gonna see this and call us.
No, he isn't. He ain't gonna see this. Who knows? He might though. Oh! Anyway, I wish I could kind of share you stories about him. Oh, my internet connection. Okay. That are PG, but I don't think we have any.
No, we don't. We don't have any PG stories to share with the viewers. Yeah.
But in terms of business work and stuff like that, so this isn't terribly funny, but I think it just kind of, tells you the spirit of some of the people in this business, and that not all of them are just self-centered, artists or people. So I was doing a movie called Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. It was with John Travolta and Denzel Washington. So if you've ever seen the movie, there's a point in the movie. It's sort of, fortunately, I got to play the character that shifts the whole entire movie. So I play this sniper in the subway tunnel, and I'm setting up to shoot the bad guy, but I get bit by a rat, and then I do an accidental shot, and it hits the wrong person, and then everything goes crazy, right? The movie then turns upside down. So it was cool to be able to be the person who made that happen. So the director was Tony Scott. So I remember when I came down to get ready, and so he like puts his arm around me, And he's like, Ty, you know, you gotta understand what this is all about, you know. And he as he's whispering this to me, he yells, shut up, shut the fuck up, you know. You know, it's like, Ty, you know, as we're sitting down here, you're going to be the one to aim your shut up. I'm talking to someone. He's like, and then he comes right back to me and, you know, arm around me again.
Right.
You know, he, you know, does that same thing again, where he's like, you know, to understand, you know, what it is to pivot the direction. Shut up, you know. So and at this point, I'm just kind of like, what's he screaming at? I mean, because we're at Hoyt Schermerhorn in Brooklyn.
Right.
So you have to have special passes.
Yeah.
I had to take a class to be able to work on
Wow.
to work underground at the in a subway station. So
Yeah.
we were on a track that was not decommissioned. So, but we're underground. We're there. We're, you know, whew, it was pretty cool. And so he's doing that. And then as everything's getting set up, he was like, okay, where, you know, where's the weapon? And he's like, get the weapon set up for the man. Da, 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 da. And, you know, I'm just like, oh shit. And then he's like, you know, then he pulls me back and he's like, Ty, you know, everything is set. Is there anything you want? You know, and I was like, nah, man, I think everything's good. You know, he's like, okay, don't fuck up. And then everybody, of course, laughs, you know, the whole entire set, you know.
Oh man, I love those kind of stories. I really do. You know, to me, these stories, the reason we ask them, I mean, it just shows the joy in the community, you know, whenever it's working and people are trying to get these stories and the passion. Like I've said a few times during some of these interviews, it's a miracle that any movie, any TV show ever gets made. I think it's a miracle, you know, that all the right people came together at the right time with the right amount of resources. So hearing these stories about how human it is and how funny and all of these. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people maybe just getting started, whether young or old in the business, anything that you know, words of wisdom to people who might just be getting started?
Yep. The real short, know your why. Why are you doing this? If you have not defined for yourself why you're doing this, I do not recommend doing it. I always tell folks, if you've missed one day working on your craft, you've missed a week. If you've missed a week working on your craft, you've missed a month. If you've missed a month working on your craft, you've missed a year. If you've missed a year working on your craft, do something else.
Nice. Got it. I got it. Hey, how do you personally, Ty? It really is profound. Thank you. And how do you personally like deal with nervousness for auditions and things like that? Do you have like a routine that you do, or is it just being ready to work, being ready to get in there?
And you know, that's what it comes down to, showing up. I already know that I'm most of the time I'm going to be told no. That's why I'm like, you got to have a thick skin. So I'm going to just give it my best shot, make sure I'm prepared, show up on time, try to look the way I need to look. And at the end of the day, I know there are other 5'9" black dudes out there with bald heads around my age. And lots of times the stuff that you're reading isn't terribly profound.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's either about a relationship or your agent relationship or your manager relationship or your relationship to the casting director. And then there are those times where, you know, you really get to, you know, show your facility with language or something like that. And it's like, okay, that's the person we want. You do want to make it easy for a casting director, right? You want to be able to deliver in a way that makes it easy for the casting director. You want to solve that casting director's problem.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, as one would, you know, get up in the morning and have their cup of coffee to go to work. The same thing with me. You know, I don't think anybody's nervous when they drink a cup of coffee and you know, do your morning ritual and brush your teeth and stuff and go to work. Same thing. This is what I do. And so if I'm ever nervous, it's probably because I'm not prepared or something like that. But it's I don't have time to be nervous. I really don't.
Great.
Up there now, dude.
Yeah. Well, you know, so let me ask you this then. As the artistic director at Classical Theatre of Harlem, is there something that you notice that people, when they come in to audition for you, because you're in the room at the auditions,
I am.
What's something that people do? I'm going to ask you both sides of the coin here. What's something that you notice that actors do that just doesn't help them at all get cast? And then the other side of that coin, like what do they bring into the room where you go, oh, we got to get that person for this piece?
Yeah. So the one, you know, there are times people show up and, you know, I think what it does, I start off the room by making that person come in, or when that person comes in, that they are as comfortable as they possibly can be. I've been on that side, And I've been in rooms where the casting director or the director is just looking down at something. They're not even paying attention to you. I've been a reader in those situations where somebody will come in and knock your socks off. Like, this is the kind of person that you want to hire because they can help put butts in seats.
Right.
And then I've seen some people come in and they were terrible, but because they looked the right way or whatever it was, they got the call back. So by being a reader, it took all the anxiety out of auditioning for me. I'm like, wow, no matter what I do, I just know that I've got to be okay with what I came in with, right?
That's
but
right.
I've had some people come in and, they're just not prepared, but even if they're not prepared, I make sure that they feel whole when they walk out of that room.
Great.
I'll try to give them a nugget of inspiration, some advice or something like that. There are times where people, they just needed some training. They have the passion and all that other stuff. They just need some training. They need to look at this thing called acting or theater as a craft that you have to work on it. And there are people who come in who just haven't worked on it. And then there are people who come in, man, and it's tough. Sometimes it's tough. And I don't like to, I don't want to dismiss or be dismissive of people coming into the room. But I think it's also important. It's the job of the actor to know what it is that you're auditioning for, right?
Yes.
So if I'm looking for Tiny Tim, and it says in the breakdown that Tiny Tim is a child, right?
Yeah.
And a child of 8 to 10 years old, needs to sing a little bit or whatever. We're looking for a kid. I don't know what else to tell you. And I have somebody come in, full-grown adult now, purple hair, insisting on being Tiny Tim, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying. Okay, was there a mistake? Did you
right? Trying to figure out.
yeah. And then I let it go. Okay, go ahead and do your audition, and they do their thing. And you let them do it.
Right.
And you're like, okay, all right. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah.
And look, I'm going to tell you, what you did was quite unique, and don't ever lose that uniqueness. And
yes,
you let
yes,
you
yeah.
know,
And
like that.
and I know you mean that sincerely too, because I've seen you do it. I've seen you do that, and it is, and I feel the same way. Like, they came in, they did some, this is what they're working on right now, and that's where their journey is right now. So you're right. You don't want to just dismiss it, but it does make for great stories later. One of my favorite ones is I think Sandy used to tell this story about how they did a whole thing where they were all sitting at their table auditioning people, and their rule was, stay behind the line, don't approach the table, and they all had the pitchers of water. Do you remember this story? And so the guy's doing his audition, and he's getting closer and closer and getting more and more intense with the audition. And he goes, and then I did, and he slams his hands down on the table, and all of the pitchers of water and ice go up in the air and dump all over the table, all over the auditors, and they all, they're all shocked. They're all like, they don't know what to do, and the guy goes, I don't think I got the part, did I? What do you do in that situation?
Yeah. I mean, look, yes, that's all I can say. You and I think we could exchange stories all night.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
Well, you're definitely a good soul, Ty. I mean, I've seen, casting people who are like, next.
Oh yeah. Oh. Look. Okay, so there's one story I want to say. Okay, man, this is a tough one. All right, so you know what? I won't name names now. This doesn't seem that kind of a podcast, but there have been some that I've done where I do name names because I actually think it's important to name names.
Sure.
But I've been in where I was a reader for folks, right? Broadway directors, people who cast Broadway shows, all that other stuff, and they are so cruel, cruel. And
I've seen it
now. There's one casting director in particular, and I'll name him. His name was Alan Filderman. Do you remember that name?
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah.
So anyway, to this day, like when I see him, I never allow him to forget how he treated people, including me. I let him know, and I was like, and what I do isn't nice, so I'm not trying to get people to do what I do, and I never would recommend it, but I let him know every time I see him. I let him know, and what he had done is an anathema to theater, and this is a tough business, and you need to have grace in this business. So
Well, if people want to learn more about you, what's the best place for them to find you online and the theater as well?
CTHNYC.org. cthnyc.org.
We'll put it
Okay.
right there so people can see
Okay,
it
cool.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you personally?
Oh, you can, you know what? I haven't updated my website in 10 years. So you can catch me on
On
Facebook.
IMDb though, IMDb, right? We can check out. Yeah.
Facebook, on Twitter. And on Twitter, it's my initials, TDJNYC. And then my handle on Instagram is Ty Jones NYC. Ty Jones NYC.
Ty Jones,
Awesome.
NYC, okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And before we go, is there anything else you'd like to share with us tonight, Ty?
No, I'm just thrilled that I've had a chance to kind of catch up with my boy, one of my favorite human beings. It's not even an actor; he's just one of my favorite human beings on the planet. He was the one that hired me to play Hamlet, for his theater company. Oh, sheesh, almost 20 years ago now.
20 years.
Like,
yeah, I was thinking about it a lot today as I knew you were coming on the call. Yeah.
And not only
so
that,
let's talk about that, Ty. What's it
Yeah.
like being friends with Wayne?
look. I mean,
He won't let me be his friend. I was just curious.
I mean, no, seriously, like so when I was 22 years old when I met Wayne. I was one of the youngest males in our graduate program. And, Wayne was just, I don't know how to say it, like a big brother. But the kind of big brother that kind of knew where I was, somebody who I was not theater literate whatsoever. I leaned on my sort of athleticism. He talked about the backflips.
I love it. I still love it.
And but I was highly insecure, and he was always there, and he wasn't trying to take care of me. He was just there. It was almost like, Wayne was like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be able to be of support to my friends, and so when you've never met anybody like that in your life, and I've got some boys and stuff like that, and some friends, but I remember saying that in that program, the PTTP Professional Theater Training Program, people who were just my acquaintances in the program, I was closer to them than people I would consider friends outside of the program. But Wayne was a deep sort of a shining light as a human being. It's like, yeah, I want to be like that guy. And we talk about lots of things, like raising kids, relationships, how tough all this stuff. So when you have somebody who unconditionally is your friend, unconditionally, and that's a unique thing to have. And he believed in me. Like he was like, Ty, come play Hamlet for me. And, there was no, no, just play Hamlet, you do it. And he was behind me 100%. I had to learn the lines in 17 days. Was it like 17 days or something like that?
Yeah, it was crazy. And you went to con. You went to con in the middle of rehearsals, remember?
Oh, shit, I forgot about that. Oh, that's right. I had a film or something, right?
You did, yeah.
Oh, my con.
And so he left rehearsals. Hamlet was gone. and I was like, and honestly, Ty, thank you for saying that. I feel the same way about you, man. Yeah. I was like, I had no worries in the world. I was like, there is, the director was a little worried, other people were a little worried. I was like, nope, nothing to worry about. He's got this. We got this. And it was amazing. It really was
amazing. And not only did he produce the play and then we travel to Taiwan, he actually got it recorded as well, and it aired on the Sundance Channel.
That's right.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. He told me all about that. Your trip to Taiwan. That's another show, by the way.
Yeah, we could do a whole episode about.
And this isn't a guy who's like, oh, I've got just loads of money right here, and I'm just throwing it around. He worked his ass off to make that happen. See, so I'm kind of like, if we have more if we can have more human beings like Wayne in the world, and if I can sort of reflect the kind of person he is, then the world's going to be okay, regardless of what the shit that's going on right now.
Oh man.
Yeah. I like to say he taught me everything I know, but not everything he knows. So
oh man, Ty, now I'm gonna be all moved and crying and stuff.
The top of your head is blushing, Wayne.
I know it is. I'm looking at myself. I'm trying not to look at myself, but I'm turning bright red. Ty, Ty, hey, you're a beautiful person, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for everything that you bring to the world. I am a better person because of it. I really appreciate you, man. I miss you so much in the real world.
I miss you too, brother.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's been so great.
It's been great. Hey, Chris, nice to meet you as well, man.
Yeah. Stay safe out there.
Real honor.
Give the family big hugs from me, okay? I miss them too.
I will. I'll do it right now. I'll do
all
it
right,
now.
great.
I won't
Love
have
them
baby
very
number
much.
4 for you, but I'll go give her a hug.
Okay, great. And keep telling those stories that need to be told, man.
All right, brother.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care.
Appreciate
And
it.
before we sign off, we'd like to remind everyone that the Hunter Mountain Film Festival has a lot more great content at huntermountainfilmfestival.com. And Wayne, I think it's time to
roll the credits. All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.